We're having in a bit late. This is the second presentation type thing that I've ever done, so sorry about that, blame me. So I'm going to run through some other stuff with you. So again, yeah, if you went into the first one, something that I explained is, this isn't written in stone. This is all like new technology, new things that we're playing about. No one really knows what the fuck we're doing. And I love this tweet by Nicholas Gallagher. And I was thinking to myself, what if I was a new front-end developer, or, trying to get into code nowadays, and going back to 10 years ago or whatever, there wasn't a lot of information, whereas now you're just inundated with all these different technologies to look at. So just don't worry about it, because we're all still learning. So yeah, although that is the case, this is something that we should consider, because by 2015 it's predicted that mobile internet usage will actually outweigh desktop internet usage. So what can we do? First of all, let's look at some of the issues. So we've already been over some of the issues. There's this website which is pretty cool. Again, all these slides as well will be available online. I'll stick the links up tomorrow. So there's just all these pitfalls of different things to be aware of. So that's one thing. Obviously, like various sizes. There's just a multitude of different sizes that we need to deal with. I'll go into that in a bit. Again, various inputs. So I have the mouse. I've got this quick demo of this game that I love here. So I'm just going to do a quick demo. So this is basically just using my trackpad, and you move around and you avoid these circles. I'm trying to bump into one and finish it. So it's game over. Now what this dude's done is absolutely fantastic. He's taken that, and again, I'll do a quick demo, hopefully. So this is actually now from the webcam trying to detect my face. Fingers crossed. So now, like, if I move up and down, it's like moving around.
You do look mental.
Yeah. So it's just fantastic. I mean, it's like Connect or Wii, but it's just this is available now in the browser. So these are things that we can use now, and to be able to take advantage of these things. And also various usage scenarios. So again, like I mentioned about if you're holding a device, obviously you mentioned where you can touch the device. You've got the navigation at the top. Sometimes that's quite hard to get right up to the top. You want it down at the bottom, perhaps. But there's all these native apps. How it's just sort of become standard that the menu's at the top. So again, it's not set in stone. What is the best scenario? We need to test these things to find out what's the best. So yeah, a little pitfall is that the media viewport isn't always what you think it's going to be. So I've got a few links here. One of the things that bit me is that some browsers take in the fact that they have got a scroll bar on the right, and they'll add that pixel width to the viewport. Others don't. So obviously you need to be aware of this. And yeah, this weird use of it's going back to the fact is this like an app, or is it a website? I mean, you can have a web link that you type into your phone and you view the application, but it just seems so alien. It's like, well, this is a link that I'm putting into my browser in my phone. This is a website. It's not an app where it can just do exactly the same thing. So just weird new stuff as well to be aware of. I know you mentioned about the M.dot site. Yeah, I'm personally not a fan.
Can you change that slide, because it's really distracting.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned it, the M.dot thing does have its case scenarios, okay, but it just frustrates me that if someone sends me a link, especially like someone sent me a link to a product, and it said like M.dot whatever, SKU name, whatever, but instead when I viewed it, it gave me the mobile experience, and then when I clicked desktop, it actually just forwarded me to the home page, so then I couldn't see the product. So yeah, although it's got its use case scenarios, there's different things that it can be used for, and things that can be on. So yeah, let's chill out. And there's some things that we can.
I wouldn't actually do M.dot. I would deliver different HTML for smaller devices, but I wouldn't use M.dot. I would just let the app.
Okay. Yeah.
Can you say that we persuaded you about that? No, it's a lie.
this.
That'll be a good.
I was only using end dot because it's quicker to say that than.
Okay, right, exactly.
Yeah.
Also, another thing, like going back to these different different dimensions and things like that, is I've just put two examples here. The first example, what it's basically doing is it's specifying a CSS file just for a particular width and device height and viewport orientation. Now, doing that is going to cause you loads of pain because you're going to have to. It might look great on an iPad one way, and then you'll do another style sheet for an iPad the other way, then another style sheet for an iPhone. But you know, this isn't. You can't just specify different devices. There's so many different devices and devices that are coming up with all different types of viewport widths. So it's much better approach, or a much better approach that I found, is to make it like indestructible. And we're going onto that in a second, and try and get ranges rather than just specifying exact pixel dimensions within your media queries. So Dan Seed-Home wrote this book a few years ago, and I think it still stands true, a lot of the ideas that he talks about. And I'm a big fan of Bruce Lee as well, and in this video there's a link to that video describing about like being water, and that it can just flow like if it's in a cup or if it's a bottle or a stream, whatever, like you're throwing at it, water will just flow. And I think that's a really good analogy of how responsive web design sites should work. So I've got a quick example here. So the top box is like the bad news box, and the bottom one is the good news box. So the top one has a fixed dimensions on it. The other one has a media query. Again, like just a quick example, but just to show you how responsive can aid your design. And obviously, if you can't see the content, then you're getting a bad experience there. Okay, yeah. So Sam mentioned about the display none thing. So it might seem like a really simple principle, but again, like when everyone was talking about responsive web design, primarily developers developing on large scale computers, and particularly with websites and code that's already existing. So you've already got this big code base. So then it's like, oh shit, we need to do this for the mobile app. So add all this extra stuff onto the mobile. So let's just hide everything that we don't want to be shown, which is obviously really bad because you're still making those HTTP requests, and especially like if you're out and about on a mobile, you've got 3G, you've got poor internet connectivity. The last thing you want to be doing is downloading like 1,600 pixel images that are absolutely humongous. So yeah, try and start off with something that's just going to be really quick as well. Like people are now just so impatient. So if you go to a site on your phone, just show them something, even if it's anything. Try and strip out the images or JavaScript if you're using like a big JavaScript code base. Just try and serve just a simple HTML with a bit of CSS to say, look, you connected with workings, something's going on here. And then try and maybe perhaps load things in the background, but try and serve something to them as quick as possible to try and keep their interest going. Okay, so this is something that I wanted to show in the first one that I didn't manage to, so fingers crossed. I'll give a quick example of this application that I use called Live Reload. So, where's my line text to? No, that's not what I'm after. Like I say, this is my second presentation, so you have to bear with me. On the left here, I've got my browser, my new website, HTML5 boilerplate. On the right, I've got my code. So generally, let's say if I want to change this text to green, so I change the text, then I go File, Save, or you can use your shortcut, and then I have to move my mouse over here. I have to click down, then I have to click this button here, or you can use the shortcut command that. Then I have to go back to my code. And if you're making hundreds or thousands of changes a day, just flicking between the two can be quite laborious, and it just adds up to quite a lot of time. So Live Reload basically allows you to skip that process. So you track the folder basically that you want it to compile each time and force it to the browser. And now if I change anything in here, it just auto updates straight away. So it's it's a massive win. It seems like a really small thing, but you know, like, over the duration of a day or week, year, it saves you absolutely loads of time. We've actually done, I'm not sure if I'll be able to demo this, but I've done a screencast video. So at my home network, I was able to get live reload running through the devices as well. So I had an iPhone or an iPad or whatever, so I'm coding a local development environment on my machine, and it just automatically updates on your devices. I find that handy.
So,
yeah, go for it.
So this, you reckon, can be used for replacement, is it for Adobe?
Edge.
Shadow.
I've not used Shadow.
You can basically connect up multiple devices and use this to be auto-refreshing against.
Yeah, you set your local host against it, and then from your device you just point to your machine, your local host. It's a bit faffing about with host files and configuration of your network. But, yeah, so that's cool. I've got that working. It's a bit tricky nowadays with other things that I'm using, but I'll come to that in a second. So there's these emulators as well that you can use. So give you a quick demo of this iOS.
Is that only for a Mac?
Yeah.
Certain things like live reload is just for Mac. I do believe it's working on a PC.
You can get it out on PC.
It is available.
Yeah, it works well on PC.
Cool. There you go. Thank you. I take it you're using a PC, right? Okay, so in iOS 6, brought this in Safari, you go to your preferences and enable your show developer menu in the menu bar. You get this up there.
You can turn it on in the system preferences of the device as well.
Thank you. Yeah, I've got a blog post there as well. Yes, there's but basically, what this enables you to do is you can just click your device there, and now you've got development tools that can help you debug, and you can even live code. So let's say, for example, and you can see that updating there, so it's really helpful to debug. Another thing you need to be careful of is if you're using a device to do this, be careful that you're not in like incognito mode or anything like that, like a restricted browser access, because you won't be able to connect as well. But yeah, that blog post there should help you out. If you get stuck trying to sort that out, give me a shout and I'll help you out. Adios man and Jake as well, just done this absolutely fantastic video, and it goes into depth now about how performance issues can cause issues within mobile devices, and they do a brilliant demo on Android devices using the Chrome DevTools. There's just so much like you can do with Chrome DevTools now. And look, who uses Chrome DevTools? Absolutely loads. And we still use Mozilla these days. Yeah.
Isn't Adios Marnie used on HTML5 Rocks? They've done all the.
Adios Marnie does everything. He's all over the place. Yeah. And Opera.
Links. Blog.
Okay, so one thing you can do is if you've got spare 10 grand, you can go down to it and set up a rig like this. Let's see if this video works.
Your game on.
Yeah, but you've got to develop a game, right? So obviously that's a brilliant setup there. And what they do basically is you access your website there, it fires across to all these devices, including game. So obviously, not everyone's got £10,000 to spend, especially like with the current trend of how many devices are coming out. So there's this thing called BrowserStack. Does anyone use BrowserStack? Tried it? Yeah. Unfortunately, I was going to do a demo, but my trials just ran out so quickly. But it's about £11 a month, roughly, if you pay for a year's subscription. And basically, what it does is you can just fire up any device, and it's got absolutely loads of devices on there. So like your Android devices, iOS devices, you can go like Windows XP, Windows 8, different, you know, IE10, different versions of IE, if you ever want to go and do that.
How do you find emulating touch?
How did I find it? So,
well, touch.
How did I find it?
Click or
right.
How does it do?
There are different things like you can use, like
touch, captain touch.
For example, like this sort of thing you can do with shortcuts. I've not actually used it extensively for different mobile devices, so I can't really answer that, I'm afraid, but I'll try and find out if you speak to me later. I'll get back to you. So, right. Okay, so Tom, is he about?
Yeah.
Do you want to just give a quick shout out?
Yeah, so Sam mentioned it before. It's this thing called the Open Device Lab, right? All across Europe and there's a few in the UK. The idea is that obviously no one can afford those big rigs at home. So the idea is if people who live in the community can just contribute devices and we bring them all together in one place, and then anyone who wants to use them can just come and use them for free. The most northern one in the UK was in Cambridge, so a few weeks ago we started one up here in Tech Up Manchester. So it started by Night World, which is the company that the guys who run Tech Hub and me work on. So if you want to use it, it's downstairs. We've only got 3 devices at the moment. We're growing slowly, right? If you've got any devices that you'd be willing to contribute, then please do that. But also, if you want to use it, then just like find us an email. You can use it anytime. Like, we've got an iPhone. We've got a couple of Android devices. The other thing as well is that you can use it for native development if you want to. So if you want to take it away for a few days, better than using the dog slow Android emulators, then feel free to do that as well. So yeah.
Cool.
You can tweet us so we're at ODL North. We've got a little website as well, so yeah.
I'll stick that on my blog as well. Like, definitely something we want to get growing, you know, like, just help us out. I think I was speaking to what's called David Blumen. I think he works for the BBC. He's saying what he does is every now and then he'll just take a day trip out and go around the supermarkets or whatever, and he'll go around Apple, like, check them out, okay, and walk into a phone shop. Yeah, I'm after the new Nexus. Can you have a look at it? Just check the site. Yeah, looks okay. Actually, can I just try it on it and just go through them? So yeah, I was talking about SAS before as well. Again, like about splitting the files up, something I like to do as well. Splitting up into partials. So basically, partials again, it's just an easier way to structure your CSS into these different files that are more manageable. And obviously version them. And obviously, when you're versioning them, write decent commit notes. So quite often I'll find that I've wrote a particular bit of code and I've put a nice commit note with it, and then I can just go and search back for that commit note, and I'll find that code and I can just copy and paste it. So as well, yeah, when you're doing all this authoring in preprocessors and things like that, there's these different things that can help you. So build scripts are brilliant and are really helpful. So you've got your development environment set up on your local machine, loads of comments to remind your future self when you come back to it 6 months why the fuck you did something. And build scripts will just basically minify everything for you, optimize the shit out of everything, and push it live for you. So they're absolutely awesome. Yeah, so there's a few there to go and check out. Source maps. Does anyone use source maps within SAS?
No.
Fantastic, yeah. So originally there was this thing called FireSAS within Firefox, and what it does is it tells you the corresponding line number that you're editing within your SAS file, which makes it a lot easier to debug and author and find out where you are in your SAS files. But one problem with that is that you end up with this code in your files. So if you're then doing like a diff on these files to see what changes have been made, if someone else has edited it, you're collaborating on this project. So in this example, it's someone called Richard. If I came to it, if the file, say it's 1,000 lines long, it would show diff for 1,000 lines, which is obviously impossible then to find out the actual bit of code which has just been changed. So there's this thing that's sort of, and Chris Epstein, I think he did Compass, he's just got a job now working at LinkedIn. He wrote a blog about that, so he's going to have hopefully more time to devote to this. So hopefully, and also the proceeds of any donations from tonight will be going to Chris Epstein as well. So hopefully he'll have a look at that. Wink, wink. It's awesome. So yeah, I mean, touch different games, testing, and that's what I think we need to do. We need to test as much as we can. Find out what these issues are. Find different ways of trying to fix these issues and reporting these issues, and talking about it and seeing what's working and what's not working. And if you don't test, then bad things can happen. One more time. So yeah, thanks for watching. Again, sorry like it overran a bit and done that a bit quick, but hopefully all this will be recorded and I'll put a blog post up about it and all links and everything like that. Also, I'm going to put another Google form up, so it's really helpful that you can give me your feedback, you know, what you want to see in future threads, you know, if you want to talk, if there's anything, you know, any suggestions whatsoever.